Hey, hi, I'm Chris. Every day I do a vlog. I'm doing one for 1,000 days, guys. 1,000 days. So if you're not subscribed, a subscribe would be absolutely awesome. I'm back at the beach with my favourite furry boy. Yep, me and Buzz. We're here at my favourite beach, or one of my favourite beaches at least. And it's so close to Plymouth. It's called Wembury Beach and it's amazing. Buzz loves chasing around after this bull. Today though, I'm going to talk about something uniquely different from anything I've talked about. Today is about you're with the wrong person. You're with the wrong person. And how do you know you're with the wrong person? Well, it doesn't always manifest itself at the beginning, although sometimes you have a little niggly feeling in the back of your mind. And you think, well, you know what, I'm just not feeling it completely. There's a resistance there. There's an annoying nag at the back of your mind, and it says that you are not completely where it should be. You're not at rest, you're not at peace. There's constant friction. And not that successful relationships don't have a little bit of friction, they do. They absolutely do sometimes. You're going to have crossed words, you're going to have a disagreement at some point. But you know where you're with the wrong person because you can't be honest with yourself and say it just doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, you've got to go. You do. You're with the wrong person because they don't share the things that you love to do. They don't share a viewpoint. There seems to be somebody that's more dominant in that relationship, who wants to control things, maybe bully, maybe have you do things and say things you probably wouldn't normally do or say, and therefore you're not being true to yourself, and that's an issue. It is. And if you can't be free to be you, if they don't like you and only like this version of you that they've concocted that you have to perform to, then that's not right, surely. So that's why it's important to find the right person. So you're not with the right person. It sounds horrible to say, doesn't it? It really does. But you've got to be honest. If you can't be honest with yourself, your chances are you may not be honest with other people. You know, everything starts from you and works out. So if they don't like it, they can disappear and you can find somebody who does like it, who likes every essence of who you are. That's so important in life, to have a peaceful life, to have no drama. And because they're not the right person for you, there's all this drama which is going on. And that drama causes friction in your life. And it's like a cloud hanging over you. That cloud can seem relentless. It can seem challenging. Now, once upon a time, in my life, I remember dating somebody, and on the face of it, yes, they were a lovely person because that was the attraction, but slowly it became apparent that we just weren't compatible. We weren't. Sometimes in life, you're not going to be compatible. It's a reality, and it's a reality for lots of people who get together. They date a few times, maybe just a couple of times, and then it's an understanding that you just aren't where you both should be, and hopefully it's an adult mutual separation and you go your separate ways. So you get all these feelings when somebody isn't meant to be with you, and when they're not meant to be with you, you've got to go your separate way and maybe spend some time on your own. Maybe just be you. Maybe just being you, you might actually eventually over time meet somebody who likes that just you, who shares very similar attributes to you, and that is lovely. That is lovely. You can share stuff like, look at this, come to the beach, hold hands, drink a coffee together, talk about the future, share dreams, aspirations, commit to a future where you both have similar view of that. And that view of that is so important. If you don't have it, you're constantly fighting that resistance, constantly saying to yourself, I need to be out of this, I really do. And I talk about peace on this channel, but it is fundamentally so important to our well-being. To be able to put our heads on the pillow, to relax, to enjoy our time, our free time. We're all working, aren't we? We're all busting our chops, working our butts off to pay the man, to pay the mortgage, to pay the bills, to get things done, to move things forward, to go for holidays. And if you don't have that immediate personal peace, that's not so great. So maybe they're not the right one. Maybe they aren't. It's a bitter pill to swallow. It's tough to listen to. And most people, like in your family or your friends, they're so courteous of you, they're so kind, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to say to you, look, don't date this person because I just feel they're toxic or they're not the right person for you. As a rule of thumb, most family members or close friends will back you and support you in the decisions that you make, because that's what family and friends do. But even if they feel it's wrong, they're not going to tell you that you're wrong for dating this person. And sometimes I think that's necessary. Sometimes I think it's the right thing. If you have somebody in your family that says that to you, that's pretty special, I think. Maybe you shouldn't castigate them for it. But we know in our heart of hearts if that person is the right person for us. And they're not going to be the right person if you're even questioning it. Just having that thought in your mind, if you're having to say to yourself, actually, you know what? Are they the right person? If you're asking yourself that question, well, chances are they're not. And it's such a difficult realization to come to, especially if you've been with that person for quite a while. If you've been with them for ages and they continually say and do the things which cause friction, and you're there just out of comfort, or you're there out of obligation maybe. If you're there just out of those reasons and not out of love and hope and kindness and all these other things, you've got to say to yourself, I've got to get out. It is time for me to get out. And if it's time for me to get out, then I've got to do it sooner rather than later. They're not the right person. Finding the right person, though, is golden. If you get out of that relationship that you shouldn't be in, and you never know, you might actually get the opportunity of being in a relationship with the right person. Now, if you free yourself up for that wonderful opportunity of actually having somebody decent in your life, somebody who brings everything that you need to the table, you're giving yourself that opportunity. By getting out, it's an important fundamental push forward in your life. You're getting what you need from that life, and you're no longer with the wrong person. And I'm sure with hindsight, once you've made that decision and moved forward, and I don't say it'll be easy, but once you've moved forward away from them, you will say to yourself, thank goodness I've done that. And I can actually put my head on the pillow and sleep now. I don't have the toxic sort of approach in my life. I don't have that horribleness, and I'm free to explore the life that I want. Don't get me wrong, there are difficult times in relationships. That doesn't mean you should just give up and it makes them the wrong person. No, we all have challenges in our lives. We all have good, we all have bad. We all have things that happen. It's life. That's what it's called. It's life. And what we need to understand is that if you meet somebody and early on there are lots of issues and there's very little positivity that you can take from that, it's important to go off and find the right person. They're not the right person for you. Nobody will tell you this. Nobody will. I've not seen a video here on YouTube of anybody saying this, talking about it, because I guess it's all about boundaries. We all respect boundaries. If I had a family member, they were dating somebody, would I necessarily tell them they're dating the wrong person? I would explore it in an avenue which would be conducive to our relationship. Would I necessarily come right out and say you're dating the wrong person? please ditch them and find somebody else. I'd say it in a palatable way, with respect, with decency, honesty, and I'd say it in a way that was conducive to our relationship on that level. But say it, I think you should, and it would probably save years of heartache. It'll probably save an awful long time of wasted time, and then freeing yourself up to be the person you need to be. And if eventually, further down the road, you meet the right person, then that is fantastic. It really is. And meet them you will. And if you don't, well, do you know what? You're just enjoying life. You're just being a happier person. Being able to come to the beach like this and see wonderful views like that behind me. That is pretty special, isn't it? We are very lucky. We're lucky to live on this planet and have this time. You know, this is the Goldilocks period. By the way, I've just spotted somebody. It's really cold. I've got to flip the camera around. They're in the sea, guys. They're in the sea. I don't know if you can see them. They're over there in the distance, just over here swimming. Gosh, it's really cold. But there you go. There's somebody that's living their reality, swimming in the sea, taking a dip, feeling amazing. Cold water swimmers. God love them. God love them. On that note, thank you so much for stopping by. Every day I do a vlog. And I do it for, well, I'm doing it for 1,000 days. So if you could subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow. God bless. I'll see you then. Bye now.